kick the field goal, go in, get the ball back.
All right. Coach, opening statement, then we'll take questions.
We need to play well this week. It's the same as last week. We needed to play, good last week. I thought we played back to really consistently played hard on Saturday against Charlotte. They're a good basketball team. They're doing a great job of finding ways to win games, and I don't think Coach Consuegra would be mad if I said they're winning some of them ugly. And that was definitely kind of an ugly game on Saturday that they won, and they got another one last night. The one that they won at Western Kentucky was similar, and so they've done a really good job of figuring out how to win games that maybe everything doesn't go their way, and I thought they did a nice job of that on Saturday. We need to carry over some of the defensive intensity and rebounding intensity that we saw on Saturday to the game on Thursday against Florida International. They're a different basketball team than what we've been playing. They really pressure you 94 feet. They press a lot. They're really active to get the ball to the basket, for 40 minutes in transition and different things like that. So you really have to be tuned in. You can't take plays off, or they score in bunches, and their pressure challenges you. Our guards will have to play well, and so it's a challenge all the way around.
Questions?
You went back and looked at the film. What did you see maybe that stood out that was an easy fix, or was some things that maybe that stood out to you, trying to evaluate how you could have gotten that one?
I don't know that there's an easy fix, and I think credit goes to Charlotte on that. That's a good defensive basketball team. Not a lot of people score on them. I think what both teams endured on Saturday was a little over the top in terms of difficulty scoring, but that's not out of the realm. We've held teams down this year at times, and they've held teams down at times, and I think it was a series of two teams that just really weren't that keen on taking the shots that the other team was giving, and you kind of saw that in the shooting percentages. I think we're going to have to be much more ready to shoot balls with a hand in our face, basically, when we go play Charlotte again. I mean, we sort of, I think we turned down shots to drive it inside. They have a definitive length advantage. They're really good athletically, and they have a length advantage. So, I think we turned down some shots to drive it into spaces that were difficult. I think we'll have to make that adjustment when we play them down there. We needed to be better at the end of the game in terms of getting the ball in better spots. We were probably 50% okay on that. But once again, it's a good defensive basketball team, so it doesn't surprise me that it wasn't like that game was played in a manner where both teams just put the ball right where they wanted, and we put them in tough spots and they couldn't guard us. They had done a great job of defensive basketball for 45 minutes, so it was tough sledding, and it vice versa for them. We need to clean up the fouling. We gave them too many free throws when they weren't scoring baskets. And some of that it's a very fine line. We have to be aggressive. We've got to be the quicker team to the ball, because of size and different things like that. And yet we did too many way away from the basket that add up when you need to be physical at the rim and things like that, puts them at the line. So that's probably the easiest thing to talk about and hopefully adjust to is, the fouls.
Kemp, the last time that you all played FIU, you all were kind of getting that thing going. You all were rolling a little bit. And with the style of play that they incorporate, that confidence going into a game was huge. Y'all jumped out early and sort of made them chase you all. You're coming into a situation where you've lost 4 straight. How do you get back to that mentality that you had in the first meeting between the teams when you jumped out?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to come from, the locker room to a certain degree. I mean, I think that they recentered mentally, competitively going into Charlotte. I mean, I think without good competitiveness, that game doesn't stay as close as it was based on the offensive output. If we would have let up in any fashion, competitively, then they would have made shots. You know, they just would have gotten some they like, and they would have gotten some easy ones, and we did a nice job of really just never letting that happen. And so that is the first hurdle that they've got to get over, and that's, you know, that comes from within. I think we'll prepare well. They've got to, together, they've got to get out there and get after it when that ball's tipped up on Thursday at whatever time. I don't even know what time it tips off. I know Thursday evening, 6 or 7 probably, 7 p.m. There it is. I got a lot of water under the bridge between now and 6 or 7. So now I know definitively it's 7 o'clock. You know, I think that's the first thing. We got to be in a good space mentally to compete. And if we are, I think all year when they have been that way, they've been just fine. It doesn't mean we win them all, but, you know, it's going to be a heck of a battle.
Well, you look at what FIU does, and you know, that was relatively early in conference season, and it seemed like that took a lot out of the legs, and that sort of carried over to the FAU game a couple days later. Now that you're a month into conference season and things like that, how much more difficult is it to face an FIU team that knows that they're going to be facing teams that are kind of leg weary coming in?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that can be vice versa, right? They played last night. They had to play last night for a COVID makeup game. So they've played 4 in 7 days when we get to them. So, you know, I just think we have to handle the pressure calmly, mentally. And I think that, you know, who's tired and who's not tired. Honestly, everybody's tired. You know, that's the nature of the time of year it is. So, like I said, it all comes down to where, you know, I guess whoever's talking about being tired at 7 o'clock on Thursday, that's probably going to be the team that's tired. And I know where I want our heads to be, and I think we can handle, you know, the thing that you're talking about. I think the question is more, can we be calm in the face of the pressure, the traps? Can we handle that smartly and for 40 minutes? And for the most part, we did that the last time we played, and we had a bunch of turnovers in the half court. So we would beat the press and then, for whatever reason, get sped up once we beat the pressure. And we have to clean that up. And then, you know, we really didn't make a lot of shots down the stretch the last time. And so we need to do a better job of that. So move the ball around and get some good looks. And you got to stick them on the road, or it's going to be tough.
Coach, does the film strategy change this week? Like, because you've seen FIU once, you kind of can go back to that game and show them their mistakes, like against FIU, or you just look at FIU since you play them?
You do both. I mean, I think the most relevant stuff is usually, you know, the game that you played as far as learning. I think it makes more sense to watch myself do it against this team rather than Old Dominion or somebody else. You know, I think we're both fairly similar. You know, they're the same players for them are taking the shots. Same players for us are taking the shots. A little bit different on the margins, but they're running the same presses they were running. You know, we're playing the same way too. So it's going to come down to kind of who's ready to go and who's ready to handle, I guess, the challenges that the other team throws at them.
Hey, Coach, I apologize if you've already answered this, but how much of your guys' focus and energy are you spending on the fact that you guys are on this 4-game skid right now? I mean, are you guys kind of turning the page, opening a new book? You know, that's in the past, we're going on the road, it's a whole new page, or, you know, is that still on the back of your guys' mind?
Well, I'm sure it affects us all to a certain degree. I mean, everybody, you can't just make it go away. And I think you've got to have, it's got to be in your craw a little bit to get off this, you know, the path that we're on. And I think it is. I think you saw that on Saturday. I thought we finally dug in and acted like we were trying to get out of that. You know, but every game's a new game. But I think we understand that we need to get back to playing well. We need to get back to playing hard. And I thought Saturday was a good step in that. And I think down in Florida will be another difficult environment that we'll have to find a way to do that. We're conscious of it, but at the same time, we got a positive group of people that understand that basketball is a whole bunch of ups and downs. And we were up a while back, and we're a little bit down right now. But there's no use in dwelling on it. I mean, you better get your chin up. And we have competitors from staff all the way down, this is what we're here for, and so I do think we got back to enjoying the competitive nature of basketball. And sometimes you learn lessons because you win, and sometimes you learn lessons because you lose, and all of it should make you come out the other side better. So this week we need to find a way to get back to playing good, consistent, hard, and the opportunity starts at 7 o'clock on Thursday night.
Anything else?
Guys, let's get that official Super Bowl prediction now.
Hey, there's no way I can go against your boys. I'm all in. I've been in this area I have my hometown team, and now I got my second hometown team. So I'm Houday right there with you. Is that how you say it? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, Houday, let's go. Let's go.
You gonna wear a bingo shirt to the next interview session on Tuesday?
I don't have one of those. I don't even have a Chiefs shirt. So I just have a whole bunch of green, black. That's all I
Yeah,
got.
Paul will get you a shirt.
I'll get you a shirt,
He,
don't
he
worry.
has a plethora. He has too many.
What?
Gotta
No,
get
that's
rid of
Bill
them.
Cornwell. That's Bill
I
Cornwell.
work at the Herald Dispatch. I ain't getting you a shirt.
Bill Cornwell was in full uniform for our game the other day, which he was there. He had the full Bengals uniform. The really good time to say this. You have plenty of time on Sunday to do the pink game for the K Yao Foundation on the way to your Super Bowl party. So 1 o'clock in here against UTEP is our pink game, and then let's go have a good time watching the Bengals. So that's a great lead in. I forgot to say that, and that's always a fun game. It's a really important game in women's basketball, and I guess you're not really going to see me between now and Sunday. So as many people that can know it, that's a very important game for what we do. So pink game Sunday against UTEP at 1 o'clock. Wear your pink, and then we'll flip it to our Bengals jerseys, and we'll have a good time. See you.
Hey, Coach.
Thank you.
I'm a little short.
All right. Questions for Aaliyah Dunham. Go ahead.
Aaliyah, I'll kick it off. What do you remember the most about that FIU game that you all had here? I mean, it was hard for me to keep stats. It was up and down the entire time and figure things out. But what do you remember the most about that game?
Definitely the intensity on the defensive end. Like Coach said, they press 94 feet the whole game. And then also when they get into the half court, their defensive intensity is also up.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Is there any difference in mindset from the last time that you all played? Obviously, I think you all were coming in winning 4 straight the last time you played them, and obviously a different scenario this time. But how do you keep the same mentality, and does it feel any different right now, or is it just kind of the grind of conference season?
I think it's a little different, given the scenario. We were winning 4 straight last game, and then kind of flipped this game. I think you have the same mindset though. Doing the little things that equal into a win, and focusing on what we're supposed to do, our little things. I think that's the biggest thing.
And how are you going to let that maybe not affect your guys' play? You said, you went into the last game up 4 games, now you're down. Obviously, you got to try to kind of have that in your mind, but maybe not think about it so much. So how are you going to, deal with that?
Really just the game off of Saturday gave us a little bit of confidence of where we want to be. I think we played really well and did the little things that we were used to doing. I think that was a huge step moving on to FIU. So I think that's just the biggest thing, is having that confidence from Saturday flow into this game.
From a defensive standpoint, watching the film, what did you all like the best about what you did against Charlotte?
I think we were more aggressive and tougher on the defensive end. I think we put them in positions to take shots that they really weren't comfortable with. And I think that we really, had great help side, great gap defensive positioning. So I think that was the biggest thing.
On the flip side, when a team struggles shooting, sometimes a team speeding them up sort of helps. You can't overthink it really. You're just reacting and playing a little bit. Do you feel like this is a game that could kind of help you all get right offensively?
Yeah, I think where teams pressure, sometimes you can get easier baskets, with the press and leading into transition. And like you mentioned, sometimes you don't have time to think. And I think that's the biggest thing sometimes is thinking before you shoot kind of sways you a different way. So I think that's the biggest key.
Kind of going off of that, I mean, how important is it going to be to get those early baskets?
I think we need to take advantage of what we're given because sometimes that's not always, you don't always get like transition